Hello. This is a Kansas State Association of Fire Chiefs member training video, and it focuses on email communications from executive board members that have privileges. We're going to cover communications overview, the email template, quickly designing an email, previewing an email, sending an email, and looking at email log. And so we'll go right into our Wild Apricot, and we're in the administrative section. After you log in, you go to communications, and here you are. And so the three options you have up here to jump around in communications are your email. This is where you will spend almost all the time you have messing with it. Email template we'll cover quickly, and email log will quickly cover also. So let's just briefly look at email templates. So these are templates that I've made or somebody's made. These are system templates and everything down below here. We usually work just in our stuff, and we'll create new ones as needed. So we have a base email, the upper left corner, and if you notice these symbols like an @ symbol or you see Z's, it just helps sort. That's the only purpose of them. So we sort this one to the front. And so when you have a base template, these are pre-done. You can modify them once you start creating an email, but they have things like, for example, all these items down here will be in every email. This will be the same. The goal is to have a standardized look, professional look, try to do things the same way. We can change this template. If you don't like it, we can change it. No big deal. Or we can have multiple templates, and we have a one I'm working on a round table template, just as something I'm playing with, so that when we send those out, they have a standard look to them, and but follow the same general format. You can create your own. You can duplicate it. Ryan's duplicated one here, and so if you go look at his, he's put these basic things in, and he would paste in this area his message. The difference is, for example, these are probably all the same. I haven't changed any of these, but I've added that message about our thing. So he could either delete this or something in that line. So that's the disadvantage of creating your own. You can always use this, but once you get into the habit of this, have your own template, but make sure you keep it up to date with the current one. So email log, we'll just quickly do that. If you, our emails are set up from thing. So I'm doing this on January 21st, 2024. And while I was doing it, Chad sent out an email from the president. And so I'm going to click on that, just show you what you can do with this. So this is that email. It went to 179 recipients. 40 of them have already opened it, and he sent it not too long ago, 16 hours, and it's about 30 minutes ago. And 3% of them, which is 7, have actually opened the link. Failures, if it didn't get delivered, it would show up who didn't get it. And that means bad email, their system blocked it, lots of reasons, but that's what. So here's who it got delivered to. You can see. You can actually look and see who opened it. You can just roll down, opened it. You can see who's clicked on it. And if there was multiple links in it, you could go to links tracking. Well, there are always multiple links. So this is somebody's clicked on the jobs linked on this. And 6 of them have clicked on the PDF that was attached. So that's what the log is. So let's go back and compose an email. I want to take you through some basic stuff. So click compose. Here are the steps in sending an email. You can jump back and forth these. You can be at the end, jump back to templates. Once you select a template, you're pretty much going to stay in the design and preview until you're ready to send it. So let's pick a template. There's the template. Now it kicks us into design. From here, the blue is messages I've given you. So if you wanted to start typing, right here, you click on that box. You can start typing an email. What I do to save myself time is I have a template. here's an example of a template. I've already shortened this template, but it's guidance on how to write an email, and I'll post that template for you all to use, and you build your own template. So what I did here is the subject I don't paste. I'll paste that when it comes to the end, or I'll type it in, doesn't matter. If you don't put a subject in your email, it'll say general email. Here's just instructions. Arial 9, just so you know, in Word, if you use a Microsoft Word, if you write it up in Arial 9, it will paste in the correct font here. What it changes, don't ask me why, don't know. So I would take this, copy it, go into my email. Because I actually had the ending and the beginning, I'm going to just paste this whole message in. So when I paste it, it likes to automatically stick things in, and I have to play with this, which is fine. I just go through and delete the spacing until I get it to where I want. It takes a moment sometimes. If you're just doing a paragraph, it's no big deal, but in this case, it's a lot more. One thing I want to show you that is important is sometimes the way the formatting works on here, and this is why you might build your own template or copy and duplicate a template, is the spacing always occurs. And so to get rid of this spacing, you go up here to where it shows spacing, go to remove space before paragraph or remove space after, depending on what line you're clicked on down here, and it'll tighten it up. So most of the time, it's not an issue. It's usually just an issue right here and sometimes at the top, but that's just an example. And so once I get this, say this is where I want it, I'll leave the spacing as it is. I hit preview, I'll see what it's going to look like to the membership. I can also send a test. I'll send a test now, and we'll look at it in a moment. Send a test. So we'll go back into design. I'll get rid of spaces. I want to show you two things. I want to show you how to, well, three things, I guess, is insert. Let's do this. I'm going to type in file, link, if I can type correctly, file link, website link, we'll just use those right now. I think that'll help me, and then we'll talk about a picture. So if I wanted to put a file in here and say, see the file below, there's two ways I can do it. One way is to go in here, and we'll use this website here, tiny URL, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I'll copy the URL, I'll jump back in, and I could paste that directly. It's going to show up just like I copied it. It's going to add the HTTP S and the /:colon thing. Or I could do, because that's a website, I could go in here and do website link, go up here to the link button, insert a link. Here's the text that I'm putting it on, and I'm going to paste it in here. So that's where it's going to go. That's what it's going to say, insert the link. So now if I go to preview, both of these will take me to the same place. One looks a little better, and if you don't care, just paste it in. If you care, or you have multiple links, or you want it built in, that's the example. So I'll go back to design, and we'll do a file link. So we'll do the same thing. If you wanted to put a file in here, you go over here to file, and you would browse your computer, or if there was one already up here you wanted in, and I'm going to insert this one, do that. And so I could do that. The key here is, if you do it this way, you need to make sure the name makes sense. Sometimes the names that are posted, they make no sense. It's bad. So you could rename it before you upload it into our system. The other way, if you don't want to mess with that, just put in file link, go to the same thing, and select the same thing, and you'll see now, if I go to preview, These are going to be the same thing. One's going to make it look a little bit, it's this exact same file, but it's hidden behind that text. So those are two things you might want to do. You can play with it, and no big deal. The other thing you might want to do is put a picture in. And I'm going to show you how to put a picture in at the beginning or the end. If you want to put it in the middle, it takes a little more work. You got to split your email up, which is not a big deal, but I'm not going to cover it in this time. If you wanted to put a picture in here, you would select one column. You can see the blue line popped up down here. And so you put a gadget. Here are all the gadgets you could put in. And so you want to put an image in here, drop that in. And then all you would have to do is click Insert Image. And same thing, you could either browse and upload. There's some size limitations it might tell you. Or you could pick one. You could pick whatever you wanted. So you pick one of these, and I'll pick as an example, an old picture of a thing. So it goes in down here. You can go in and do some sizing, position the center. If you needed to do two pictures in there, you could pick a 2 column and it'll drop them in, and then you drag a gadget to each side. And so that's an example of that. And so if you wanted to preview it, there's what it would look like. So you could put that at the top also, just as an example. There's a gadget one I'd leave up here, image. You could do the same thing, insert an image there, put another logo in, for example, and if you previewed it, that's what it would look like. If you go back to design, you could go in here and shrink it, for example. Well, that's one way. The other way is you could shrink the whole box here in the column settings, and it takes it to the image. So there's different ways to do it. You have to play with that. You can replace the image, do something else, smaller images. A lot of times how you bring them in is how it's going to go. So you see a smaller image. You can size them in different ways, but that's up to you. I'm not going to go into that. You can play with that all you want. But if you're having issues, get a hold of me and I'll be happy to help. No worries. So we go back to preview. There's our email. No big deal. I'll send a test of this one. And so the test, it shows who it's going to. I'm logged in as test user. I should be able to, sometimes it takes a minute for it to pop up and go through. So I sent a test earlier. I'm not sure which one this is. That's the earlier one. Lets you look at how the email is going to show up actually in your thing. Here's the second one I just sent. So you can actually see what the email looks like. There's another way to send the final test. Sometimes there's an issue here with links, and we're going to talk about that right now. Let me go back into here. We've had an issue recently when we post in a link, and we'll go back to design, a link that ends with a slash in it. And I've got a support ticket in. But, and even if you had a long website like this one here, you can take any website, if you've ever messed with the tiny URL, if you had a real long website, a legislative website, for example, that has been sent to us from Federico, you can go into tinyurl.com. You can go type in your website here. We'll put in ksc.org, and if it was longer, it would matter. And you hit shorten. And what it does, and in this case, because it's long, it gives you a shortened version that goes the same way. You could take this, copy it, go back in. You could put it in just like it is, like I say, or you could go into a website link, and we'll modify this one, edit the link. We'll put that in here and apply the changes. And so this website link and that tiny URL, same thing. Right now, the only known issue is when it ends in a slash. And like I say, there's a support ticket. And once we learn more, that'll be something we work on. Let's talk about recipients. This is where some of you have issues. So you got to spend a few moments here. There's a couple things to do. One is, if you're sending it and it doesn't show your email, change it so they'll come to you. You can go in here and change your reply. You could have it go to anybody in the system. Type your name in here, whatever, select it, and it'll go there. In this case, that. I would always do, we always should, if you're going to use this system, do enable link and email tracking. That way, when you go to the log, you can see all that. Two different, then put your subject. I think I showed you when I was messing with my email, I had a subject here. So I would copy that, paste it in, and so it'd be there. So who do they go to? Two ways to do it. Contacts goes to everybody in our system, whether they're members or not members. If they're in the contacts, it goes to. Now we can do sublet. This goes to everybody. I don't usually use this. I use contact lists because then I can build save searches. Any of us could. So if I had vendors, I could put them here. But for us, all members is what I usually use. You could do all contacts. That's no different than selecting this contact, only it's no difference. All members is all of our members in our organization. It would select all of these. If you wanted to do all members in all districts, I do that. What I do is always select this if I want to send it to everybody. The difference between all members, as an example, if you're a group administrator and maybe an administrative assistant, they will get these also. No big deal, but they may not care and probably won't care. But this is all of our members. That includes all these members that are here. If you wanted to do just District 6 members as an example, unclick this, add selection. You'll see District 6 members, and so you say, okay, that's all. And you say, hey, I want to see who those members are. Just for the heck of it, you can clear it. You can go to Review and Send. There's 32. You can hit Edit. And when you hit Edit, I need to back up. Now I really messed up. Email. We go back into this email I was working on. Review and Send. Sorry, I jumped around there and jumped to the wrong place too quick. Add selection. Everything's set up. Review and Send. I can schedule it for later. Send it now. I could edit these items. Let me see here. You could edit that. I'm waiting to, let's see, contact list. You can see, oh, I got to go back here. There's 32 members. You can go into, and this is what I guess I can clear them out. Okay, clear all recipients. So that's what you do. If you want to see them, I guess the easy answer, there's a way to do it. I just can't think of it right off my head other than go back into your members and see who's in group 6. But it'll go to all of them. So go to group, but you can choose recipients. And contact, what I do a lot of times, if I want to just send it to myself as a full test, I go to contact, and in this case we'll do user, user test, select. So they're the only ones that are going to get it. I could say, okay, I want a user test. I want it to say that. Review and Send, one recipient. Everything looks good, I'll send it. So that'll show up in my email in a moment here. and we'll look at it. But that's generally all you have to do. Take some time and practice it. Somebody else is sending out stuff I see here already. Inbox. There it popped up. So there's an email I sent just to myself. You can see here I could jump on the links to get back. I could jump on the link this way. For whatever reason, it's not working. I don't know. I didn't pay attention. Oh, no. I'm in the wrong one. Never mind. Go back to the email. I could jump in here, go to the same thing, whatever I linked it up as. So anyway, that's a general way to do it. And once again, we could go to the log and see who sent out whatever. So Chad just sent out a joint legislative meeting update while I'm doing this. But I could go in the one I sent, and you could see here it was delivered because there's only one of it. You could see there's the email, links tracked. You could see I clicked on these two links. So that's an example. So I want to do one more thing real quickly. And this is for you guys that want to export the email list of your members to your own thing. So let's go to Save Searches under Members. And I keep using Lester, but his district, but let's just run. And so when I run it, here's all the people in District 6. And this, when you go to select that email and who's in it, you could see who's in it. And when you select the emails, back in the communication setting. So you could see all these. But say I wanted to just take these emails and put them in my own email. Well, from here, you can export it. I defaulted to these things: first name, last name, email, department, agency, and the group, and position and title. The group is just so you can verify. So you hit export. It'll export it out. And then from there, you can actually go in, and I'll show you here a real quick one. You can go in. Now, if you're going to export it to import, you'll probably need a CSV file, and I would do that. And I would help anybody that needs to do this. But I'm going to show you a quick and dirty way that you can do this. And the file I'm going to use is, it's been changed, so there's nothing here that is going to, let me open it with the right. This is bad data. It's truncated here, and this is all out of order. But here's a test. You could go through here and copy all these, copy them. You could go to compose an email. You could go to paste them, and all those emails will pop up here, and you can email them, right? You could use that email list. The other thing you could do, a little more involved, but I'm going to show you. Just you can go to your contacts. No contacts in here. You can go to import, and I'm going to select that file that is down here. It's a test file. Open. I could import them, and this is in Google Chrome. It might be different in others. So all these are imported. Once again, this is bad data, so it doesn't matter. They're incomplete emails, and the names don't match up. I didn't have last names. But what I do is when I import them, now I got them here, I can go in and modify this, and I could call this District 6 members. And you could, if I could spell right, you could save it. you could do that. You could also create other labels if you're not used to doing it. You could be District 6 non-members if you wanted to build your own out of your own email. And after we do contacts, you'll be able to do that. But anyway, that's how you can do that and have your own list. And how would that work? This is how it would work. You compose an email. And once you, let me go down here and open these up. You could go to District 6 members. There's the emails that I imported. Type it in and send an email. No big deal. This is if you want to send it. You don't care about tracking. You want to do it quick and dirty. These are ways to do it. And especially if you can't keep up with who's in your district, or you don't have a separate group, or you want to compare, you can export them out of yours and compare. There's different things to do. So that's really a not quick, but it's a down and dirty way to send emails. And you have questions, I'm always free to work with you. And this doesn't mean I won't spend more time one-on-one. I'm happy to do that. So, but that's enough to get you started. Test them with yourself. If you have links, always test them. If you're just going to send out text, no real reason, but I always preview it no matter what. So any questions, let me know.